What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the WandaVision review. If this is your first time on the show, we're going to be doing a lot of talk of spoilers, Easter eggs, and all kinds of other cool stuff that happened on this episode, so stay tuned. Alright, welcome back to another episode of the WandaVision review. With me breaking this episode down is my buddy Seth. What's going on, man?
What's up, everybody? If you did not watch this episode, you are totally missing out. Enough said.
And we got my man Craig with us. What's going on, Craig?
Joining from Westview tonight. Home is
Digging
where
the
you make
shirt.
it. So
Loving it.
new shirt. Yep, killer. So loving the show. I loved it from first episode, and it just keeps getting better. Every time we get a question answered, we get another question to ask.
Yes, true. That's definitely a fair statement for this show.
It's like how do you answer a question with another question?
That's what this show does best.
Yeah.
Nilda and Frankie will be joining us next week. So we had to shoot this episode a little bit earlier because I'm going out of town. So anyway, if this is your first time on the show, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date on all of the content. Also, we're going to be talking spoilers on this show. We're going to be showing Easter eggs and all kinds of other stuff like that. So if you haven't seen the episode already, please go check it out so you don't get spoiled. Or if you just like getting spoiled, then just hang out with us and, don't get mad at us if we spoiled you.
I like getting spoiled.
I do too every now and then, At least a little bit of pampering, Foot rub,
But if you guys want to get extra spoiled, what you can do if while you're watching this video is if you look below, you will see the join button, and also in the description you will see the link too. If you're watching from a mobile device, you can join the Marvelous Knights YouTube group for the low introductory cost of $1.99. And what may you ask? What you get with that? Very simple. You get early access to videos. You get badges, emojis, all kinds of cool stuff, private member live streams, and also private member giveaways. So if you guys want to partake, just $1.99. It's like a bottle of soda. Yeah. Not that I need your money, but I kind of want it. So.
All right, guys. So briefly, what did you guys think about this episode?
Fantastic.
Outstanding.
Splendid. Radiant. Riveting.
How about you?
I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. I did the live reaction this morning, and I was actually really happy with this one. So it was good. It's definitely really good. Yeah. What did you guys think about that intro that they had going on there with for me, I got the Growing Pains vibes with that intro music, right?
So
right?
Not only did you get the Growing Pains, but you also got Family Ties.
Family Ties. That was another one that I thought about.
You got Family Ties. You got Growing Pains, and also at the end they gave you the thing that they were sitting around the picnic, kind of like it was Full House. If you remember the end of Full House, which was great. Which was great. I love how they tied all that stuff into the 80s intro. I thought that was great.
They had like an amalgamation of like 3 intros. Very cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that? And this was the first episode that started with that intro, but then you didn't get the standard vision. It was widescreen the whole way.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, very
think?
interesting.
Didn't catch it, but
no. I'm thinking it's because this is the first of the actually last week was actually the first episode that we didn't have the us viewing it through a television. I think is the reason why we were seeing. The first 3 episodes, I think it was them being monitored. And then now, since last episode, it's become more of like, this is what's going on. Yeah.
You're there, right?
It's in real time.
Yeah, you're there. So.
Do I know you? But no, that's where you are. You're there.
So, episode starts off with her and the twins. And they don't go to sleep. They're crying their butt off.
I was laughing my ass off when he came out and he had the pacifiers in his ears. He's like, oh look, noise cancelers. But
he doesn't have ears.
Yeah, exactly. So what was the point of that?
They're phased into his head.
Yeah,
it's a joke. Yeah.
He's like, oh look, noise cancellation.
All right.
I wasn't feeling the jokes at the beginning. What about you guys?
Well, that was just the cheesy '80s type, sentiment, from all the shows.
Humor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spitting the pacifiers,
Yeah.
Party horror. Yep.
The pacifier spitting I thought was pretty funny. The whole dancing with each other, I just thought that felt a little awkward.
Yeah, even the dance style was 80s feeling.
Yeah.
The way that they were.
What a feeling when I'm dancing on the ceiling.
So she couldn't get the stork to disappear. associated with the pregnancy. She couldn't get them to go to sleep. And she even said, why is this not working? So something to do with pregnancies is outside of her control.
True.
It's the only time really that, besides the glitches, but something that consistently that she can't do anything about.
I think that it's that starting with the pregnancy, she's starting to lose control of it, because like for instance, when Agnes comes into the house, right? I thought it was weird that Agnes just first of all just lets herself in, which I think it's kind of 80s style, because that happened in the Family Ties, or actually
most of those shows that was the
people
thing.
Just showed up and walked in, right?
The neighbor would just walk in and be like, "Hey guys," and you'd get the real crappy applause. You'd be like, "Woo!"
Right. They showed up.
Right. Yeah.
But really, what I saw here was when she came in to hold the baby, and then Vision freaked out. And then she looked over at Wanda and was asking for permission to start the scene over again, rather than her, rewinding it herself.
Yeah.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Several things in here that like Wanda is comfortable with her seeing the magic, and she doesn't react to the magic. So
she doesn't react to it.
To me, it greatly established that she is not of the town. The whole Agnes. Agatha,
Agnes.
The witch deal.
Yeah.
That she is not under the mind control of the rest of the town.
Right.
That she's outside of that. That Wanda trusts her and she trusts Wanda or whatever. There, although a later scene made me question that. But anyway, it was just interesting with the glitch there.
Yeah. I thought that whole scene was a little on the strange side, and I like how Vision is starting to question what's going on.
Well, he woke up that. Well, I don't want to jump ahead.
Yep.
I don't want to jump. Well, I mean, you brought that. No, but you brought that up, which kind of was a segue into that.
But he's questioning at the beginning of this episode already. Because he asked her, why are you doing the magic in front of her,
right.
And then she comes up with that. That Agnes didn't react to the kids aging so quickly, which I thought was super strange.
Right.
And even that Vision isn't questioning that part. Like he's questioning Agnes seeing this, but not questioning how are these kids growing as fast as they're growing. So
there's also something that Agnes always is provider for them. First episode, they need food. She brings in a lobster. Was it?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, it was like a lobster and a steak and like a bunch of other
kids are crying. They need the nanny type help. Their conversation. We're tired. We need help. She shows up. I heard them outside. Later in the episode, she shows up with the doghouse.
Doghouse.
It's always whatever they need. She perfectly provides at the perfect time. So that's unusual.
The dog, I thought, was going to be, and I was right at the end, but it really wasn't the same thing. But I actually thought the dog was I'm jumping ahead, but I thought it was Pietro at first, because of the name Sparky that they chose and everything.
Yeah.
So that made me feel like this dog is going to transform or something like that,
I'll get to that whenever we get to that scene.
Yeah, but that didn't happen exactly.
So
go ahead.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when they weren't in Westview and they were outside of the force field and they were having that whole interaction and everything like that, did anybody notice that when Captain Marvel came up, that Monica
had an issue with that? Yeah. I did see that. That was a little bit weird.
I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, that was your mother's best friend. Like, why would you have an issue with her name being mentioned?
Right.
At the intro, we were talking about the song, but the house is the set is full house, including the stained glass window. The colors in the stained glass window are Captain Marvel's colors, and it's not exactly her star, but it is a star in the center of it. I don't know.
I didn't even catch that. That's kind of cool.
I didn't catch that at all.
But it's a full house stairs because it has the red carpet runner down it, and then the couch. I didn't do any of the go find the Easter egg YouTube. I'm going to research everything myself this time. Right. So I Googled the set of Family Ties, and the couch was exactly the couch from Family Ties with Michael J. Fox.
I love that.
The arms on the couch have a very unique curl to them.
Mm-hmm.
and it's that gold color. But I mean, it was exactly that couch. So really, really cool, the details that they put into all little Easter eggs in the set.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't pick up any of that. I have to watch it again. I got to do a second take on it. I've only been able to watch it once today because of all the other stuff I've been putting out. But man, I got to check this out again. I really love this episode. Going on to what Seth was saying, they get out of they take you out of the force field, and I like that now we're starting to get stuff that's happening inside of the WandaVision, and then the stuff that's happening outside in the real world, and then Monica, what's her name? Darcy
Woo.
And Jimmy Woo. They're trying to find a way to get Monica back in there without her being affected by it, and then they said they were going to bring another physicist into this. I think is what they said. Like, I heard somebody, it might think, or I think somebody asked me this, if they thought that could possibly be a way to tie in the Fantastic Four and bring in Reed Richards. I think
that would be
cool.
That would be interesting. I kind of think maybe since Darcy's already there, it might be a way to tie in the dude that's friends with Thor.
Yeah.
It could be that.
Dr. Selvig. That's it. Dr. Selvig.
Yeah.
That might be a way to tie that all in because of Darcy and she was in Thor and all that stuff. So,
right.
And since he's a expert,
right.
Interesting tidbit. I started a thread in Not Another Statue group. I was watching an interview between Olsen and Bethany, and she said, just in passing, she said, Scarlet Witch is, I think it's the only character that's never been named in the MCU. She's always called Wanda, Maximoff, whatever, but you've never heard Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
It's funny. Hayward said, "You got any funny nicknames?"
Yeah.
In the thing, I was like, wow, that's weird. I was just posted a thread about that.
Yeah. I thought they were going to bring it up too. I do like that she brought up the hex thing. She's like, "Oh, that's my little thing." Yeah.
Right.
That was pretty cool.
I thought that was weird.
Yeah. So then Monica figures out that the reason why that what's happening is that Wanda is changing things and physically changing things. So like the outfit, the suit that she was wearing going in, which had the Kevlar and all that stuff, transformed into that 70s outfit or whatever it was that she needed to wear, depending on the episode. But these were translating outside of the sphere, or the hex that she's in.
Which is what they refer to it as, the hex, which they do. They have officially called it the hex. So
right, yeah, but it refers to her comic powers. But what do you think about that? I mean, that means that her kids would be real, like real.
Mm-hmm.
So she can just manifest things and make them a reality.
That's
pretty interesting.
They were created after all of it started. They weren't adapted to it, I guess, is the only thing that kind of I couldn't logically wrap my head around why that would be. Why are they different than the rest of the creations?
If that's the case, and then we also were told by the director that Wanda actually came in and stole the body back.
Yeah.
So that gives a reason why she has an issue with Sword, is because Sword had Vision's body, which I don't understand why Sword would have Vision's body. Why wouldn't? Did you see
that he was like in pieces?
Yeah, he was disassembled. Yeah, he was disassembled.
They were doing like an autopsy on him. Like that's got some sort of significance to her anger. Yeah. What were they doing with him?
And again, why would they have it? Like, why wouldn't Vision be in Wakanda?
Yeah. I saw that. I started laughing. I was like, "Do not disassemble number 5. do not disassemble. Number 5 is alive."
And I don't know if they cut the scene, but we've seen it in the promo. Her in that room, but it's not the monitor view. She's like flying in that room, but I don't know if we're going to go back to that scene or they just cut it or what.
Yeah, that would be, well, I would agree with you. I would love to see like an actual flashback scene and not looking at it through the monitor, maybe looking at it through her perspective of, because, as of right now, we're all looking at her going through the monitor, and as far as we all know, we think she's batshit crazy, but maybe they haven't exactly told her specific side of it, of why she went in there and did what she did.
True. Also, the other thing I'm thinking about too is that if she's transforming things and making it a reality, like the clothes that Monica had, do you think that she brought Vision back to life for real? Like, if he goes out of the hex, is he going to fall apart?
So I got a theory on that one, is that he is like a computer. I was thinking exactly on this today. Mind Stone is like a battery for him, like a power source. So if that's out, he's now powered by her. So he says in the thing, he says, you can't control me like you control them. So that means he has his own consciousness. She has not given him that consciousness.
Right.
He is his own entity, spirit, whatever you want to say there. So in other words, I think, if he goes out of that and out of her control, he no longer has a power source. But I think he is alive right now because of the power that she's given him. Does that make sense? Versus he's just an animated corpse. She is just his power source at this time.
Right.
Or we don't know if he's still in pieces or not.
Yeah, he could just be manifesting, walking around like a zombie.
You know, yeah.
And she's just making everybody see that. But she said that she told them that you don't want to go out there and see that. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves too, but I mean, but she did tell him that.
He's his own thing.
Yeah. Vision goes to work to get away from that because he's kind of like shooken up by her using the magic in front of Agnes. And then he gets to work and they're doing... I love the computer part. That part doesn't make any sense to me. It's because this is supposed to be the 80s. And they got computers in the
Commodore
office.
64, baby.
Well, they didn't but they didn't see, but that's the thing though. They don't specify exactly what year in the 80s.
That's true.
It could be. So,
that's true.
You know,
because you're right.
It's open to interpretation, you know.
Yeah, because if you think about it, I guess like around 86 or 87 is when computers started showing up in school.
Yeah, you had the Apple II and you had the Commodore.
I was there.
Yeah. He's like, I remember that. I know that reference.
Yeah. Listen. The one thing.
No internet.
Listen, the one thing I miss more than anything is playing the Oregon
internet.
Trail.
That's the truth. Okay, so there was the computer, but the internet. That's the thing that bugged me out there. You know, they had dial-up. So, anyway, Monica they managed to transmit something to him, and that makes him question. And then he touches the computer, and the computer zaps out. And then he does the same thing to Norm, right? And then Norm
he touches Norm, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like,
"You all right?" Oh.
Bell in the sinus.
Yeah, he got it.
So I think it's just part of script. You know, you got a computer, you got internet. You know, as Frankie would say, because script said so. But we got internet here around 92, 91 in Hick, Mississippi. So imagine California and New York or whatever had it 10 years ahead of time or whatever.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't remember it that early on though.
Yeah.
But Norm starts freaking out because he gets zapped out of it. So I guess when a Vision touches somebody, they become normal again.
Yeah.
You know, or they lose the.
Well,
the whole
it looks like he took him out of the trance, and then he started freaking out, and he's like, "Where's my father-in-law? Where's my father-in-law?" He's like, "I was watching my father-in-law. I need a phone. I need to call. I need to call my girlfriend." Yeah.
Which would have not been a thing then.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was good acting, especially he went totally freaked out, and then he touched him again, and he went back to the happy-go-lucky self that he is.
Well, if you touched me, I would freak out too. Just saying.
Funny line. He goes, "Can this thing find me a wife?" And he goes, "One day it will."
One day it will. Love it. And the puns, he's all like, that he's getting the envelope opener, and he's like, "Oh no, we're on the cutting edge."
Right.
So the boys find a dog out of nowhere.
Well, we're forgetting too that they went from infants to.
No, we said that already.
Oh, okay.
We talked about that in front of Agnes. So they're a little more grown up, and then they find the dog. And actually, you're right. That did happen before he went to work. I think that's really the reason why he freaked out. They went from not infants, but like 6-year-old kids to like 10-year-old kids. Like at a whim, they can control their aging.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
and then, they do it against Wanda's wishes.
Right.
So it's not Wanda doing that.
Right.
Makes you wonder how much control she really has.
It's a manifesto.
Or
it could be that they're doing it for like the episode sitcom. Haha. Because I mean, what's the picturesque suburban family, 2 kids, a dog, white picket fence, so it could play into just her interpretation of the sitcom.
Right.
So you said Sparky earlier. I happened to
Right.
go to Barnes and Noble and got this today, which is a Vision story where he's got he's not with Wanda, and I have no idea that I've never read this story to know it, but I was just scanning through it. This thing is very dark. Number one,
Okay.
there's a lot of strange stuff. Just looking at I just look at the pictures. I don't actually read it. He has a green dog in this.
Yeah.
Guess what the dog's name is?
Sparky.
Sparky.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Well, there you
I was
go.
like, of course they've got a reason for everything.
That's cool. Okay, so that's where the name Sparky comes from. So there we
Yep.
go. Man, you killing it today, dude.
Well, he is the wise old wizard.
The wise, he's like a
Hey,
sleuth. You
Frankie's
know?
not here. I gotta take up his slack.
Yeah,
I mean, he
man.
gets weird. He the dog dies and he cuts the dog's head open. I haven't quite figured out
What?
It's very, very dark.
In the comic?
Yeah.
Damn. I hope.
Very,
I'm
very
glad that
dark.
didn't happen in this one.
I'm if we think the show.
Well, you don't even know what happened to the dog in this one. They just assumed it ran away
Yeah.
or it died or something.
No, it died. It died.
Oh,
He
yeah.
ran away, and that's where they pick
Belly
up. Yeah,
The Zellules are toxic.
they pick up. You're right. They pick up and they're looking for the dog. The dog eats those plants, and then Agnes again finds the dog and finds the dog dead. And then the boys want to take and age themselves even more to get away from the pain. And then Wanda's over there telling him you can't run away from your pain, which I thought was pretty interesting since she's doing.
Yeah, that scene was.
She's doing the exact same thing right now.
Right. That little scene was say as what does it do as I say, not as I do.
As I do.
Yeah.
Right.
So as they're going to that scene, they pass up the mailman. We kind of didn't catch us in the earlier, but he says, "Your mom won't let him get very far."
Yeah,
Exactly. Another one of those little "we can't escape this." Going backtrack a little bit to whenever they were first talking about how they were going to do all this. I freeze framed and was looking to see if Dottie was on that what do they call it, research board or whatever.
Right.
The mailman has been added to that board.
Okay.
Dottie has not still.
That's interesting with Dottie and Agnes, because neither one of them were
Well,
were
no,
identified.
Agnes was identified.
No, she wasn't. She
No,
was on
she
the board.
She does not have the driver's
Driver's
license.
license. She's on the board because they know that she's there,
Yeah.
but they haven't identified her with a driver's license yet.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody has a driver's license. The mailman had a driver's license. Dottie is still not on the board.
Right.
So
You
That's
can put it on the board. Yes.
anyway, back to the dog scene.
So Vision comes in there and he consoles the boys, and then they're interrupted by that. Or I don't know if that happens before or after, but they get interrupted by that drone, which is something else that doesn't make any sense to me. Is because that's when Monica figures out that Wanda that in order for something to go into
It needs to be in that from that time period.
from that time period. I don't remember there being drones, or maybe I just didn't know about it in the 80s, or did they talk
had
about
one.
drones?
I
You
had
had a
one.
drone in the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Craig's like I had a lot of stuff you don't know about.
We had balsa wood airplanes, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember anything like that. I mean, I remember some remote control planes. So I guess they had remote control planes, but not drones.
Well,
that you
that
could
was
fly.
that was cutting. That back then that was considered cutting edge technology. I mean,
Yeah.
unmanned aerial aircrafts. Was the thing. So
Was the thing,
UAVs.
But this pulls Wanda out of the whole thing, and then she goes out there and confronts Sword. I thought it was kind of strange that they all knew where she was coming out of. They all had their guns pointed at that one spot before she even started to appear.
Mm-hmm.
But the same thing happened with Monica. They knew she was coming out because by the time she hit the ground, they were there.
Right. They knew
Yeah, they
that
probably
somebody's
heard
coming
something.
out.
Yeah, they probably heard something like because you heard a sound on the field.
Yeah.
And then you were obviously you were waiting for something to come out. Yeah.
Yeah, they got an alarm, and then the PA said, "We have a breach" or something
Yeah.
like that. Like the timing's weird, but
So when Wanda comes out there, she seems to be very much in control. Like she acts as that this is her home and do not mess with me and that kind of thing. And this,
Yeah.
so she's in full control of that Wanda Sphere or WandaVision. I don't know what to call it. They call it something.
it's totally badass. She flips it. I think this is yours.
Yeah.
He flips it at his feet. I was like, yeah.
Flings it at them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting how she was very aggressive towards Monica.
Mm-hmm.
And Monica was just like, "Listen," she's like, "I know who you are. You know who I am. I'm here to help you to get to the bottom of what's going on. And then, of course, the dickhead sword commander, is just, being an asshole at that point. And then, of course, that sets Wanda off. And then, I like how she, like, took all the guns and made everything, like, point on him. Like, hey,
took control of everybody.
Yeah, like, if you don't back it up, you're gonna die. You're gonna die, clown.
Right. Again, showing her power because she's maintaining that illusion at the same time she's doing all the things that she's doing. So,
but the funny thing is, though, is that when she came out of the force field, though, she was in her Avengers outfit,
right?
If you guys noticed that, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
and they even brought up, and I like how they even brought up Thanos. Like, she almost beat Thanos by her, by herself. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's when they brought up the Captain Marvel thing.
Yeah, which is funny though. Again, I don't understand why she got so like a disgusted look on her face when Captain Marvel was,
they got a beef of some sort.
My thoughts behind that is that when she left she was a little girl, and she said that she would be back, and then it's been forever.
Yeah, she bailed on her. Yeah,
she didn't come back for a long period of time. So I think maybe there's probably some kind of resentment for that. Then her mom died too, so she probably hasn't seen her since that point. So
yeah,
you got a beef with Brie. She's okay with my book.
So then Wanda goes back into the sphere or into the hex, and then we get to the end of the episode, and that's when Vision really confronts her about what's going on, And I like how Wanda. That's when Wanda tells him that. When he says that I you can't control me, and then she's like, can't I? And then she just starts to roll the credits like our show's over, and then they're having that argument anyway.
We died laughing whenever she was like that. I was like, wouldn't you love to have that ability in real life? Somebody's annoying you, like, roll credits.
The show's over tonight.
You bought what today? Okay, roll the credits.
Then the two of them go at a face-off for almost for a second or so.
Yeah, they both jumped up, and she was like spread eagle with her. She was like ready to come at at him, and it was just like unreal. And it's like
Vision was making some good points, man. And this is why I wonder what's really happening, how much she really has control. Because then she's telling him that she doesn't remember how this began. So, who started this? Is because up until that point, especially after she walked out of the hex. I was like, yeah, she definitely is in control of this.
Is there a storyline in any of the comics like where she was under someone's mind control?
I don't know exactly. I mean,
because that would make obviously that would make sense if this was the case, and that's why she was like, oh, I don't remember, I don't have any recollection, because you're under someone's control.
There's a lot of talk that Mephisto.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
There's a lot of talk about Mephisto. There's a lot of talk about Agatha. I think it's her name, right? That they could possibly be something, which that would mean that Agnes really has some more to do with it than she's leading on to. But I mean, she's playing off like she's under Wanda's spell.
Yeah. Well, that could be that could be all just a just a decoy.
Mm.
When they first calm down, Vision gets a light bulb, and he said, "Why are there no children in Westview?
Yeah.
What's the significance of that? Other than all of this is about Billy and Tommy. That the illusion has nothing to do with the perfect town because you don't have any children. But I mean, you go back to the second episode for the children. It's not for the children of Westview because there are no children. It's for her children.
Right.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
So whenever the dog dies, I said this earlier, that Agnes is outside of everything. When the dog dies and they say, "Mom, you can fix the dead," Agnes
says,
said,
"You can do that?"
She says, "You can do that?" So they constantly give you, we're going this direction. This is what it is, and then they throw you a curveball.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, what is it?
Yeah, because if that was the case, she resurrected Vision.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know that she did that.
Yeah,
right.
Sort
of. But that's why she was like, oh, you could, but maybe she doesn't know that Vision was dead.
So it's like Agnes knows things, but doesn't know everything.
Right.
It's like partially in the dark, of what's actually going on or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then at the very end, you get that doorbell ring, and it's Quicksilver. Not just Quicksilver, but Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men series.
Well, the great part about that is like, Vision was like, "Oh, are you doing that? Is that you?" And she's like, "No, it's not."
I didn't do it right.
Yeah, she's like, "It wasn't me." She's like, "I'm not making the doorbell ring."
Right before that, she said she was upset. She said, "I'm upset that you think I'm doing all this."
Right.
Yeah.
Doorbell rings. She goes, "I didn't do that."
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder there, because I feel like maybe, like part of me is wondering, is she lying to Vision, to try to calm Vision down? Because she's doing some of this stuff,
Yeah.
Right. She's participating in it.
Yeah. And so she's aware of it.
This was the worst of the cracks in the armor. Yeah, she's sitting on that couch. The whole facade's about to fall apart. Okay, and then the doorbell rings. To me, could be totally off base. To me, it's the puppet master going, "We're losing her. Send in Pietro. Send in something to anchor her in this world to where she further doesn't want to lose it."
But yeah, it was great that the X-Men Quicksilver showed up. That was great, because I'm sure everybody, like, when he opened the door and you saw his face and he was like, everybody was like, "Ah," it's like, to me, like, that would have been a good way to end the season. That would have, to me,
do that.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just like, oh, it's like, okay,
they had done that, Seth, out of it. In fact, if Marvel, if you're listening to this guy's comments, don't listen to this guy's comments. You do some shit like that, I just unsubscribe from your shit.
So wants a cliffhanger.
Yeah, we want a cliffhanger ending. But no, that was great that he showed up. We finally are getting the introduction of the Fox Marvel characters.
But are we
coming in?
Right.
But are we?
So. I think so.
I mean, that's the part that I got a question about, because one, she understood that it was Pietro, but I think she only understood that because of the gray hair. But I mean, he doesn't look like him.
If I watched it twice today, she didn't say immediately. She was like stunned, and then she goes, "Pietro." It was like not. I mean, it should be an instantaneous. And then Darcy says they recast him thing, which I actually laughed at, because I was like waiting for Deadpool to stick his head out and go, "Which professor, McAvoy or Stewart?"
McAvoy or Stewart.
Fourth wall, like made for Deadpool right there. Yeah. But so even she had this like, "What is this?" moment before she hugged him.
Because she didn't even call him Pietro until he said, "Can't your brother get a squeeze?
Long lost brother get a hug or something?" Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought it was cool though. But the funny thing is like, so I think this is all gonna tie in to the upcoming Doctor Strange movie, the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse. I think it's going to tie into that, and I think because we're going to be introduced to the multiverse now, this is going to be the way of them bringing in the X-Men from another multiverse. So it's not like that they're going to bring in the Fox X-Men basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I hope there's an explanation of the crossover other than just they recasting, because to me that's just way too blatant of well, here's how we're going to bring them in. I think Marvel has written this way too smart to just pull a cheap trick, Yeah. You follow what I'm saying? There's got to be some sort of substance to the why. Why is he recast? What's the point of that?
Yeah,
if it goes up different, and it's like, okay, they just did that so that they could bring them in. That's kind of lazy writing. There's been zero lazy writing, in my opinion, and that would be very lazy writing.
I mean, it also makes you wonder, who else can she bring back, and are they going to come back like that? Like, can she bring back Iron Man, or Tony Stark, and then it just be a different actor playing Tony Stark, or, a Scarlet Witch?
What, like a recast?
Recasting of these other people, because
listen, if they recast Robert Downey Jr., then I'm just basically done.
Yeah. I don't think he brought him back. I think the puppet master, whoever the main villain is, stuck him in the world to lock her down.
Yeah, I think that's probably a better explanation than her doing it. Either that or she's doing it subconsciously.
Mm-hmm. But why wouldn't it be the brother that she knows?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be the one that she knows? Exactly. That's the biggest thing.
Wicca remix.
And she had just kind of resolved herself in the dog death scene to, some things are forever or whatever. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's like, we're losing her. You know, I'm got Puppet Master watching all this on his monitor. We're losing her. We're losing her. We're losing her. What can we do? Okay, send him in. You know, just seemed like a progression to me there. So,
I'm gonna subscribe to that. I like that. That sounds like a good idea.
I'm gonna subscribe to that.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think is gonna happen next week?
Well, you're obviously. I mean, it's assuming that they're gonna dive more into where he probably came from. You would like to think,
right?
You know, and then you wonder if it's still gonna continue in the 80s or are they gonna move into the 90s?
Seems like every time she goes to sleep, it jumps a decade.
Yeah. So maybe we'll go into the 90s. Maybe we'll get like Urkel. You know, we'll get like some Urkel stuff going on, and Step by Step, and all those other shows that like what was it TGIF? Thank God it's Friday on the old ABC ABC network.
What was Urkel's catchphrase? Did I do that?
Did I do that? You got any cheese?
Got any cheese? I remember that.
Carl.
That was a good
On
show.
a serious, I don't know how close we are to the end here in our 2 hours, but sympathy for Wanda. This is something that I've picked up on whenever she sees Vision with a hole in his head, and just the horror that she has there. And she's a villain, but I was putting myself in this role. And you were kind of like, I was watching your reaction today, and whenever she was sitting on the couch kind of fessing up to everything, you were like, stupid witch, you were kind of like ticked. I was like, if we were in her shoes, would we do the same thing? If you had lost everything and you have godlike powers, would you not make your world right? If you had the ability to.
I think my comment there for her against her there was that Vision was pleading with her, and I felt like she was lying to him.
Yeah. I'm not what you're saying. Because like when the guy Norm breaks out of the thing, he's in pain. So she's causing people pain. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying that if you had the power to change your world right now, we'd all want $1 million. We'd all want lost family members back.
But absolutely, you can't give me superpowers. I'll do some really fucked up shit.
Right.
There wouldn't be nothing I wouldn't do.
Yeah. Is the thing really made out of brick?
So anyway, it's just like she's a sympathetic character, to me.
Well, we'll find out next week. So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining us for another talk of the WandaVision show and this review. Hey, let us know in the comments below what you guys think about this episode. What are your thoughts and opinions about what may happen next week? Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments below as well. And until next time, guys, keep it marvelous.